What up YouTube, Topaz Jace here, back with another episode of In Depth. Here on In Depth, we go in depth on certain news topics because the news media will never fucking do that shit, man. And on this episode, we gonna go in depth on this Meek Mill going in on Wale and shit. And you know, this is just deja vu and shit, my dude. This same exact thing happened back in the day when Wale didn't tweet out Meek Mill's fucking album, as if that was going to make a huge fucking difference in his sales. But okay, for those of you who don't know, Wale was on The Breakfast Club the other day, in which I did review a bunch of the tracks and shit that he released on that shit. But yet, during his interview and such, Meek Mill came up, and they asked him how he felt about the whole Meek Mill and Drake battle, and what Wale said is that Meek Mill brought a pencil to a gunfight and shit, which he's just being honest here, and he's absolutely fucking right. As much as Meek Mill want to claim that he didn't take an L to fucking Drake, kid is fucking delusional. And Wale is just telling the common knowledge that is now canon within hip-hop. And Wale continued to say more things and such, man, but if it was taken out of context, it comes off as Wale is straight up dissing on Meek Mill and shit. But if you watch the fucking interview and shit, you realize that he's in Meek Mill's corner all the fucking way. But so Meek Mill retaliated to such, saying how not loyal Wale is and all that shit, and he's calling it that he's no longer part of Maybach Music and all of that bullshit, man. Even though Rick Ross came out in vocal support and shit for Wale. So pretty much Meek Mill's trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers, turned to Instagram fingers now. In which, let's just keep it 100, Meek Mill is just being a little bitch about nothing. All the way 100, but yet I called this shit, man, years a fucking ago, but nobody wanted to fucking believe me when I said the shit though. Like, there was an interview a long ass fucking time ago where it was Rick Ross and Meek Mill. They was getting talked about something that was going on. But then the person who was interviewing them asked about Wale and his success because he just went gold on some record from back in the day. And check the fucking tapes. I said in this review. And on a side note, I like Meek Mill, but my Carlito senses was going off. I'm like, seeing how he was talking about Wale and his responses on how Wale has propelled the label up, and how he was constantly trying to include himself in the whole conversation, I see a little bit of jealousy there. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. But that's something to watch for, because that type of shit, it never ends well for all parties involved. Why he's jealous? Have no fucking clue, you dig? I mean, it could be that Wale just jumped over him in line in Maybach Music and got way more successful, way faster and shit. Could be Wale banged one of his hoes. Who fucking knows? But like I said, the first time he snapped on Wale via social media and shit, that this guy has some deep-seated issues towards fucking Wale. I mean, it's not about him not tweeting his fucking album. It's not about him saying the common knowledge of what everybody's been fucking saying about the Meek Mill Drake battle. It's about him. And until he stops being a little child and admit to why he really don't like Wale, he's going to continue down this circle and shit of always snapping on him whenever anything happens in the motherfucking media. And I agree with Charlamagne said when he said that he does the same shit that Iggy Azalea does on social fucking media, and that's why a lot of people just lost respect for him 100%. This is overall just some bullshit that a little kid in Meek Mill need to grow the fuck up out of. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpaz.com, that's down there, to read today's article.